What's going on, folks? Wes Pruitt, 4 Star Sports Media. Welcome into a special edition of Conference Crunch as we're breaking down America's game, the 126th edition of Army and Navy. And we are presented by people on the side of the screen there. But we'll start with Athletic Brewing Company, as Athletic Brewing brings you incredible non alcoholic beverages. I'm actually sipping on one right now, actually. It's a Run Wild IPA. It's the most, probably, it's an award winning alcohol free India Pale Ale. It's very balanced. Got a citrus, got a little pine in it too. It features 5 Northwest hops and a seasonal malt body, only 65 calories as well, but is a post-activity refreshment. While their special brew for veterans, which is another one that's good, really good one too. It's Front IPA. It's an amber ale supporting military families through the Team Red, White, and Blue partnership. The Amber Ale, which is the Ready Front IPA, is incredible stuff, but it is the Team Red, White, and Blue, or Team RWB, as they call it, is a non-profit that connects America's veterans to their communities through physical activity. In essence, Run Wild is Athletic Brewing's flagship IPA. It's great stuff. Like I said, I'm sipping on one now. Welcome into the show, Army and Navy 126th edition. It is a eternal history. It is one that has spanned numerous decades, but it's also one that when you look at the day and age of college football in today, and I wanted to start the show at 12:10 for a specific reason. You go to CBS College Sports right now, there is what is called the March On. It's where both the Army cadets, the naval midshipmen will march onto the field, and then from there they go into the stands to watch their respective military bases battle. But it's the bedrock of college football's soul. Think about this, folks. November 29th of 1890, Cadet Dennis Mahan Mitchie, yes, the guy Mitchie Stadium is named after, was a cheeky little challenge. Um, he, the Mids have been in playing football since 1879. Okay, so they've been playing for a year. Okay, organized, yet not really. It was kind of ruthless football back in the day. Okay, but they began playing Navy as they hosted on quote the plane at West Point. But they started playing Navy and they won 24-0. But that has fused 126 games. It now Navy holds the lead in the series 63-55-7. Yes, there's been 7 ties in total. Last one occurred in 2004. It was a gritty 7-7 deadlock game that had fans chewing on anchors as Navy's dominated lately, as they've snatched 4 out of the last. Wait, oh nope, just kidding, just kidding. Army's claw back, but incredible stuff. They were playing in Baltimore, Maryland. They've played in Foxborough, but when you look at this series, it is the 8th most played in all of FBS. Only 10 Division I series have more snaps. Wisconsin and Minnesota at 135, Georgia and Auburn and UNC and Virginia at 130, Oregon State, Oregon at 129. There's a cluster at 128, which is Miami of Ohio versus Cincinnati, Stanford versus Cal, and Indiana versus Purdue. When you look at post 2024, this is for the Commanders in Chiefs trophy. It is a gleaming slab of presidential brass, hangs in the balance for the 9th time since 1972. It's a winner take all situation. Only the second back to back Commander in Chief's trophies duel ever, as Army has hoisted it 10 times outright. Navy has hoisted it 17. The Black Knights own four of the last eight, 2017 to 2023 to be exact, in case you folks were wondering, including a 73 to 39 clip since 2017, meaning they've outscored Navy 73 to 39. That is the best among all service academies. In case you're wondering, Air Force 61 and 44, Navy 56 and 52 under head coach Jeff Monken the Army Army. He's 13 and 5 in service scraps since 2016. I mentioned a minute ago this series has been deadlocked 7 times. It's been deadlocked 5 since 1979. Navy led post 1921 until Army's 1980 gut punch broke a 37 to 37 and 6 at the time record. There's been 41 games played at Municipal or JFK Stadium, 18 at Franklin Field, 17 at Veterans, 14 at the Link, 9 at Polo Grounds, 4 have been played in West Point, 3 have been played in Annapolis. There's also been a Rose Bowl, a Soldier Field, a Yankee Field, and now 3 games each, as this is the 6th game at Baltimore at M&W Stadium where the Ravens play. Every year, one piece of this game has been the uniforms. This year, the 250th anniversary, is wearing a marble gray knit that honors the Arlington headstones with purple outlines, signifies the Purple Hearts. The helmets blaze the Army seal with an espadon, tip of the spear symbolism. Shoulders bear the Grant Seal, the Great Seal, fonts from the Constitution, as well as it's wrapped all inside their uniforms. Speaking of Constitution, Navy will wear copper helmets sheathed like the USS Constitution's hull. Sketches of the old girl and the original UNN marks, along with typography from the 1794 Naval Amendment Act. 6 ropes on sleeves for the founding frigates, 126 knots on the pants for this specific game. Because, folks, at the end of the day, this is not just apparel. This is armor etched into uniforms. For those of you watching and listening, we appreciate everyone watching and listening to this. We're just running a live show based off the recording of the podcast. But when you think back to Army and Navy, there's been incredible games. 126 games, this is only the 6th time that both teams enter the game with a winning record and bowl locked. Army's heading to the Fenway Bowl. Navy's heading to the Liberty Bowl. How fitting as they stay. Navy to the Liberty Bowl is just fitting. Navy is also hunting their first back-to-back 10-win season. Army eyes its 11th Commander-in-Chief crown. And then the game that this game will be played on CBS is locked in through 2038, as USAA is the presenting sponsor. But you look at the lore of this game. Now it's time to get in to the battlefield. Where? Okay, 3rd time in series history, 6th overall in Baltimore, 3rd time at the stadium. M&T Bank Stadium capacity is about 71,000, as they're going to be split. Army, Navy. The first time in this stadium was in 2000. Navy won that game 22-14. Then it happened again in 2017. Navy won that game 38-3. And then again in 2014, Army won that game 17-10. And then in 2016, Army broke a streak as Navy was on a major winning streak at that point in time, as they broke a streak 21-17. They're split 3-3 in the city, including 2024 and 44 at Old Municipal. But 9 years back, you look at Army's resurrection, you look at why this field, why this stadium. Well, it's natural, it's neutral turf. Okay, you've got both teams can travel there fairly easily. You look at the comments. We got John Sturdivant watching. Appreciate you watching. As he says, he wants this game like this game in Atlanta. I could see that. I know they like to keep it around, you know, I guess places that have military history. Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York. I personally like it. I understand why they don't do it, but I personally like when they put it on the campuses. I understand because of the size and the amount of people, but let's jump into each team. Okay, let's look at the Black Knights first. As we break down the Black Knights right here on Conference Crunch. Appreciate everyone watching and listening. Army West Point 6-5 on the season, 4-4 in the American. They're back bowl bound again as they knocked off UTSA. And here's the thing: not only did they knock off UTSA, and people may say, "Oh wow, Wes, they beat UTSA." UTSA had not lost a home game in conference play. So let's just sit back and really think about that. They had not lost a home game in conference play under Jeff Traylor. They were 25 or 26-0 going into that game. When you look at Army, you look at what they do well. One thing they do well is they hold on to the football. And they are not scared to run fourth down conversion plays. On the season, they are roughly 30 for 50 on fourth down conversions. Cale Helms, quarterback, 1,000-yard rusher. This game features both quarterbacks are 1,000-yard passers and rushers. It's the first time that's ever happened. But under Jeff Monken, they're 6-3 versus Navy since 2016, owning 6 of the last 9. 73-39 since 2017 under Army for Jeff Monken. 13-5. Bowl streak, back-to-back bowls. Fenway Bowl heading there. Going to be a battle for them in that game. We're going to get into why this game is even more special in here in just a minute. But when you look at both of these teams, Army, they find ways to score, right? They're not real big on the forward pass. They're going to line up. They're going to run the ball. They average 250 plus yards a game. They run triple option. They're going to come at you. It's going to be pound, 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 pound. But what they do defensively is they are at both these teams. They swarm. They're everywhere. Obviously, they're armed forces. But they've held opponents under 20 points 3 times as of late. If there is a weakness for this team, it is that their defense has been known to give up the pass. That could cause an issue, and we'll go into that more momentarily. Navy would break a stranglehold in 2016 Army would break a stranglehold in 2016 as they snapped Navy's 14-game just complete control of the series. The last time Army's lost to Navy was 2024, 31-13. First consecutive loss in Navy since Monken's 14-15 first and second season as a head coach. They are unbeaten in bowls. I know a lot of people don't care about bowl wins, but they are unbeaten under Jeff Monken. When you look at Jeff Monken, he's a guy, when you look at the American Conference and you look at the coaching cycle that just took place, Ryan Silverfield, Memphis to Arkansas, Eric Morris, North Texas to Oklahoma State, Alex Golis, USF to Auburn. And then you look at John Sumrall, currently still coaching at Tulane for the college football playoff, but is the head football coach at Florida. So that's 4 head coaches from the conference that have moved up to the Power 4 level. And you may look and say, oh, well, Wes, the guy's the coach at Army. But if you look record-wise, he is doing the same things. And after we go over Navy, I'm going to go into why these two teams have been so impressive to me, not only in the American, but on a national level. Army's looking for the 11th Commander-in-Chief's trophy, 4th in 8 years. That's their push. Also looking for their 7th win on the season. But that's their push. What is Navy looking for? Navy's looking for 10th win on the year. They come in 9-2 on the year, 7-1 in the American. They're 3rd in the conference. They're tied with North Texas and Tulane. But they have tiebreakers, as North Texas and Tulane are their losses, right? But you look at Navy, they're Liberty Bowl locked. They're undefeated at home this year. It's the 6th time that's ever happened. They're 13-3 under Brian Newberry. Incredible football coach, 24-12 overall, best 30-game start for Navy football since 1959. He's also a semifinalist for the Munger Coach of the Year award. Now, we talked about Army offensively triple option. Okay, Navy still triple option, but at the same time, they have incorporated behind an incredible offensive line, which they were midseason Joe War watch lists, which that award was just announced recently. But they rush for roughly 298 yards a game. They have 38 touchdowns. That's tied for second most in the country. 6.6 yards per carry. That's second. They have 10 plays of 60 or more yards. 4 of 70 or more yards. Passing, they can still pass the ball too. You can't sleep on this team throwing the ball around the yard. The offensive line, I just talked about how they were a Joe Moore finalist. They've only allowed about 3 tackles for loss a game. 0.64 sacks a game. But then who's leading the Navy offense? That's Blake Horvath. Talked about both quarterbacks, 1,000-yard rushers, 1,000-yard passers, thrown for over 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns on the year, rushing-wise. Thrown for almost 1,390, 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. His first quarterback at Navy with 1,000 yards rushing and passing in back-to-back seasons. He's 19-4 as a starter since 2023. He had some Heisman finalist buzz. He was a Walter Camp and Davey O'Brien semifinalist as well. And in their only out-of-conference loss, which was to Notre Dame, he did not play. Offensively, Navy is nasty. Offensively, Navy has the deep play, the explosion play. I just said it. 10 plays of 60 or more yards this season. 4 plays of 70 or more yards this season for Navy. If you're Army, we're going to get the keys to success for each team here in just a minute. But if you're Army, that's what you have to maintain. Navy defensively, hectic, havoc, chaos. They held Memphis to 17 points. That's the first time Memphis had been held under 20 points in 2 games. They also beat South Florida 41-38. Number 19 Army last year and Memphis. They have 3 ranked wins in the last 2 years. It's the first team since 1957 and 58 to do that. Their 2 losses this year, by the way, are to North Texas and Notre Dame. Those 2 teams have a 21-4 combined record between the 2 of them. North Texas 11-2, Notre Dame 10-2. "28 wins from this senior class. That's the most wins since 20. They had 30. 2 more potential wins. Second straight 9-win season for Brian Newberry. That joins Ken Niumatalolo as the only coach to do that. And Newberry is on with a win. Will be the first coach to ever have back-to-back 10-win seasons as a coach. That's impressive. And more importantly, why that is impressive is this. These 2 teams are not the norm of college football. What is the norm of college football? The norm of football is transfer portal, NIL, rev share. These teams don't have that. There's the portal, but it's a one-way deal. You lose players, but you don't go get players. I don't know that many people understand this is not average college education. Yes, these guys are taking math courses and literature courses and English courses and history, this other stuff. They're also taking hand-to-hand combat. That's essentially mixed martial arts. They're taking boxing. They're taking water survival classes. Oh, by the way, they're also taking over 120 credited hours. All while competing at a very high level in college football. That's the explosion by this team, Navy. That explosion I talked about, we're going to talk about that more in a minute. I just can't get over those stats. But these 2 teams, there's not NIL at Navy. There's not NIL. These players aren't making these extra amounts of money. Now, yes, there's scholarships, things of that nature, but they're not signing the contracts that are being these absorbent contracts that are being signed across the country. And I just talked about how the other 4 coaches, there was an American 4 coaches left to go to a Power 4 position. Jeff Monken's phone is either A, not ringing, or B, he's turning them down. And if he's doing it quietly because no one's talking about it. It's impressive. It's extremely impressive to me to see how both Army and Navy, under Ken Niumatalolo, now under Brian Newberry for Navy, and Army under Jeff Monken since 2014, both of these programs have been able to remain successful, continue to recruit and bring in players who are talented, but who are also going further in their lives they're not going to their normal jobs. They're going to be lieutenants. And they're going to put on the lines for our freedom. So when you watch the Army Navy game and you watch these 2 teams battle and You see the president there, no matter who the president is, it doesn't matter. The point of that is when you see the president there, it holds value. It's called America's game for a reason. But when you look deeper into it, which is why I wanted to bring that up before I bring up the keys to success, keys to conquest is what I'm calling it. But when you look at how these two teams are built versus how the college football landscape around them is built, even more impressive. So for Army to get the win, first off, they've got to control Blake Horvath, okay? You've got to swarm him. You've got to make sure he's going to get his, right? But you've got to force him into mistakes. He's got 5 interceptions on the year. Can Army's defense, which is hectic, which creates havoc, can they cause him to create but ground and pound, control the clock. Look, 70 plus snaps, 250 yards. Control. Let Hellum continue to run 14 touchdowns all year. Can he get 15? Can he get 16? Navy's defense is good. They're up front. They're elite. We talked about earlier in the show. Can Army continue to convert on fourth downs? You look at them on the season, roughly they're 30 or 50 on the season. Roughly. Not exact number. Roughly 30, 50. Keep the offense on the field, which in turn keeps defense off the field, which deeperly keeps Blake Horvath off the field. If Army can win the time of possession, 35 plus, maybe 36 plus minutes, it's pretty much the whole game. You keep it more than they do, you should control the game for Army. Number 2, okay? Number 3, you got to have big play blackout. I talked a minute ago about how Army or Navy has 4 plays of over 70 yards, 10 plays of over 60 yards. I talked about how Army has a defensive issue, a defensive woe is the pass. Got to make things happen there. You got to attack, be aggressive. You can't give up any deep plays. You got to turn them into a dip and dunk type of team, which is going to be difficult. You have a top 30 run defense in the country. You've got to make sure you control them. If you can do that, you can hoist the Commander-in-Chief trophy. Now, conversely, for Navy to get the win, you've got to, number 1, Horvath. Let him be your harness. Unleash him. 100 plus rushes, 100 plus rushing yards, more than 150 passing yards, 2-3 scores. Along with the passing ability, with the read option, with the RPO. He's 19-4 as a starter. You can make it 20. Let's also not forget, didn't play against Notre Dame. He wants this game. He's just want this. You've got to rely on him. Allow him to lead this team. Be the leader that you've literally taught him to be while he's been in the Naval Academy. Number 2, go run the football. 300 yards a game. Continue to do that. Pave lanes, 40 plus rushes, 40 points, big plays. You've already hit 4 of 70 or more. Continue to do that. Continue to hit big plays. You can do that on the ground. Got Heidenreich back there. Got other players, other weapons on this team. Army's been allowing over 100. They've allowed over 150 rushing yards 5 times this season. If you can just start leaning on them, start hitting with some yards after contact, big plays. Big plays plus tired equals an Army defense that can allow a lot of points today in Army versus Navy. Number 3 for Navy, turnovers. Win the turnover battle. They're +5. Navy is +5 in turnovers and takeaways the last 3 games versus Army. Can they we just talked about it, control Hellum, make him be one-dimensional, not allow him to pitch it? Can you make him pitch, get a fumble? It's going to be very interesting, but 3 keys for both teams. Navy, be turnover ready. Got to be turnover ready. We talked about it, okay? These cadets, these mids, these are 18 to 22-year-olds. They're suiting up knowing that tomorrow's foxholes, flight decks, forward operating bases, the Commander-in-Chief trophy stands for much, much more. It's a symbol of service, yes, but the pageantry, the flyovers, the uniform saluting 1775 roots, 250 years of blood and bronze. Military dignitaries from all across the world there. It's a vow, but every snap honors the fallen. Arlington's marble rose with the purple pinned in silence. The USS Constitution, copper-clad defiance, win or loss. They commissioned in May. Army to tanks. Navy to carriers. The game's importance is because it's the ultimate sacrifice. And that's why I wanted to take time out today to research, dig up, fire up a show for this game, because this game deserves this type of importance. This game deserves this type of individuality. And when you look across college football today, yes, we've got a bowl game today, the LA Bowl. We're going to talk about it before we close. But this game deserves its own, which is why we talked about it with the American Athletic Conference commissioner last year. And we asked him specifically, we asked him, Commissioner, is this game going to become an American Athletic Conference game? And he defiantly, without delay, said no. It will not. And this is the reason why. It's the ultimate sacrifice preview. It's football it forges leaders who stare down tyrants defending freedoms who they will never meet. While we binge on Sundays and Saturdays, they're in a world of drones and divisions and chaos. Because at the end of the day, these kids out here, 18 to 22-year-olds, these young men are playing for us. They're playing for the Republic. For those who gave all, you got to raise a glass. And that's what I do. To the Black Knights, to the midshipmen, America's game. The cannons roar, the jets scream overhead. Black Knights versus midshipmen. Army. Navy. 126 times they've clashed. Blood, sweat, an unbreakable will. But today, the Commander-in-Chief's trophy hangs in the balance. One game, one winner. But this isn't just football. This is America's game. Kickoff is soon. Some may say go Army, beat Navy. Others may say go Navy, beat Army. But I say, let this beautiful battle of college football begin. Folks, we appreciate you tuning in today. It's been a fun show. But let's not forget, as we close out the show, let's talk a little bit about bowl season. As bowl season is here, it's the Bucked Up LA Bowl hosted by Gronk. It's going to be exciting. SoFi Stadium, Inglewood. Boise State coming in and 4, taking on the Washington Huskies, coming in at 8-4. Jed Fish, hot name right now. These two programs do have some history, as Washington dominated their last meeting in 2023, 156-19. These two teams split the previous bowl games. Boise State is making their second appearance in the LA Bowl, while where they fell to UCLA in 2023, and Washington is making its debut in this game. Wild thing about this is it's the final edition of the LA Bowl after its 6-year run, as the game is going to shut down amid the shifting landscape of college football bowls and conference realignment. It's a fitting send off for a bowl that's brought some fun moments to the postseason. Um, but that's it for today. We appreciate everyone tuning in. If you want to watch the bowl game, it will be on tonight, 7 p.m. on ABC. And the Army Navy game will kick off in roughly 10 minutes over, or 15 minutes over on CBS. Appreciate everyone watching and listening. As always, folks, have a good evening. Stay nice, stay classy. Try to stay warm, too. It's pretty chilly outside. But Army Navy 126th edition, it's America's game.